Alright, what's up, Warhawks Army? So, we're gonna try this again. I tried this yesterday where, I tried to do a review of Kong Skull Island, but for some reason you guys couldn't hear a word I was saying, so, yeah, we're gonna try this again. I can see that the thing is moving down there, which means I should be able to be heard, and hopefully no interruptions from the wife, which is, if anybody caught the video yesterday, is what was with the phone. Um, as you can also see, I am back at my house. Um, so, so yeah, that's what's going on. Now, for those of you who are wondering, I just went and saw Kong Skull Island yesterday. I'm going to do a review of it. Fair warning, spoilers. Spoiler alert. If you have not seen this movie yet, do not click this video if you want to watch it. Got some new, got new internet and new, and a new thing for my, basically we updated. We upgraded and we updated and yeah. So we start off with, it's 1944, and it's 1944. An American and a Japanese guy, get shot down or shoot each other down, one of the two, and so yeah, damn it, and they wind up on Skull Island together. Well, it being 1944 and them being in the middle of World War II, they start attacking each other, which obviously doesn't go very well. Unfortunately, nothing really comes of it because Kong intervenes and then fade to black. So right off the bat, you see what Kong looks like. He's really big. He's he kind of seems like he's being set up to be the main threat of the movie, but again, spoiler alert, it's kind of like they did with Godzilla. You think he's the main threat, but he's really not. Turns out the main threat. We'll get to the main threat in a minute. So Monarch, this is a prequel to Godzilla. We all thought it was going to be a sequel, but it's a prequel. Takes place it's set in 1973, and so Monarch, the organization from Godzilla, is trying to fund an expedition to Skull Island. I don't know why I went blank there for a second. But the government isn't willing to do it. Well, they go ahead and they talk to the senator. He convinces them, okay. And the guy played by John Goodman says, I need a military escort. So they go to this group of army guys who are supposed to be going home because it's the end of the Vietnam War. And they say, we need you to do one more mission for us. And they're like, okay. So they get those guys, and then they find a tracker played by Tom Hiddleston. Yeah, who, for those of you who don't know, is Loki from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So he's a tracker. So he's like, okay, what do you want? Who or what am I tracking? And they're like, we don't know. So they get to they get on a big ass boat. Excuse my language. They have a bunch of helicopters, and they all fly. The island is perpetually surrounded by a big ass storm. So they have to fly through the storm and get to the island. So they do, and they start dropping seismic charges, which they do it to test the Earth, quote unquote. Which of course gets Kong's attention, which causes him to attack the helicopters. So again, right off the bat, you think, okay, he's pissed off because they're dropping bombs in what is essentially his backyard. But so you think again, he's going to be the main threat, but he's not. Then you go and with all their helicopters knocked down, a bunch of their people are killed. So they uh, so they're like, okay, we got to get to the other side of this island in 3 days, or we're stuck here. So they go, they leave, and ignore the noise in the background. That's my animals. Um, Along the way, they encounter giant freaking spiders. And it would be at that point when I'd be like, nope, forget this, I'm out, bye, see ya. But then again, they can't because their helicopters got knocked down. And so, unfortunately, they have to continue the trek. They also encounter what I can only describe as a giant yak. Like, that's more or less the only way I can really describe it. Because, yeah, that's the best way to describe it. It's a big yak. They're split into 3 groups. A guy with a bunch of weapons that they're going to need to kill Kong, Samuel L. Jackson's group of soldiers, and John Goodman's group with John Goodman is with Samuel L. Jackson's group, and Tom Hiddleston's group with Brie Larson, who is a photographer. I forgot to mention that, and she was opposed to the war. She's basically filling the role of the female from the original King Kong. And so they encounter the American from, ignore that, the American from the beginning, who is now played by John C. Reilly, aka the kind of slow guy from uh the kind of slow guy from um Talladega Nights and best friend. He's best friends with Will Ferrell. For those of you who don't know who he is, he also played the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy who was who more or less convinced the Nova Corps to trust Star Lord. That's the best way I can explain it. And but anyway, turns out Kong is not the main threat. He's actually the protector against these giant. My wife had a name for them. I forget what she called them, but she had a name for them. She knew what they were. They were ancient mythology. They're basically giant lizards with big arms, a head, a body, and a tail, and that's it. And he's like, and these are just the babies. You don't want to wake the big one up. And towards the end of the movie, guess what they end up doing, because Samuel L. Jackson's character is kind of a dick in this movie. He's kind of a dick, honestly. And so basically, they wind up waking up the big one. Kong has to fight it. I'm not going to go into full details about what all happens in this movie. Go watch it yourself. But basically, they wake up the big one. Kong has to fight it. Kong actually gets really, really creative. He gets caught up in the chains of this ship, and he freaking he gets caught up in the chains of the ship and sees this propeller and is smart enough to go, hey, I can use this as a weapon. So he does, and that's how he ends up killing off the big thing. And then after that, they all get off the island. Kong just kind of stays there, obviously, because it wouldn't be a good idea to bring a big ass ape. But and then we cut to black, and you have to sit through the entire credits. It's an very, very end credits scene. And you get to the room where Tom Hiddleston's character is, and fair warning, again, spoiler alert, a bunch of people die. John Goodman's character is one of them. And they get to and there was a black guy helping him. Now remember that. This is important. And Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson's characters are in an interrogation room, and at first he kind of seems Tom Hiddleston kind of seems to be breaking the fourth wall, because he's like, "Are you enjoying yourself sitting there in the dark?" And it's like breaking the fourth wall like a boss. But and then he's like, "We get it. There was no island. We won't tell anybody. I promise not to tell the Russians." But Russian's character is like, "I promise to tell the Russians." And then the black guy comes in. I don't know the actor's name. I don't remember the character's name. That's why I call him the black guy. I'm not racist, I promise. And he says, basically shows them that Kong is not the only giant monster in town. He shows them a clip of people going into a cave and seeing a bunch of paintings, and there's paintings of Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. And King Ghidorah kind of has like you see how I've kind of got a light behind me. That's kind of how King Ghidorah was painted. So it kind of seems like King Ghidorah is going to be the Thanos or dark side of the universe of the legendary big monster universe thing. And so he's gonna, and then the last painting before we cut to Tom Hiddleston's reaction and the cut to black is Godzilla fighting King Ghidorah, which is interesting because it doesn't show any of the other monsters fighting King Ghidorah, which kind of sucks, honestly. Um, and then right after the fade to black, you hear Godzilla's iconic roar, and that's literally it. Like that's it. So, so overall, it was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. Um, really good prequel. Again, prequel because it's set in 1973, and I'm fairly certain Godzilla is set in the year it came out. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what I think of it. But again, that's just me. Formulate your own opinions. Don't let what I say don't let what I say influence what you think of the movie. If you want to go see it and you want to go form your own opinion, do that. Don't let me influence what you think of the movie yourself. If you watch it and you think it's terrible and you hate it and this and that, that's your own opinion. More power to you. Don't let what I say influence what you think. That's not what I'm about. You guys know that. But anyway, that's what I thought of the movie. That's kind of a quick rundown, pretty much. I'm going to put a spoiler tag in the title. I'm pretty sure I don't need to on the thing. And I will see you guys next time. I love you guys. Peace.